Dr. Charles Tart is a psychologist and sleep researcher who's been studying out-of-body experiences since the 1960s.
Well, there are two theories about it. The one theory is that an out-of-the-body experience is pretty much what it seems to be. There's some real sense in which your mind leaves your body and goes somewhere else. And then there's the other main school of theory says that, of course, that's impossible. It's really just some kind of vivid dream which you seem like you're out of your body and your mind is clear, but of course it couldn't possibly be.
In 1966, Dr. Tart was running a sleep lab at the University of California. That year, a family friend told him she'd been having out-of-body experiences since childhood.
She thought it was perfectly normal that you went to sleep, you floated up near the ceiling for a few minutes, you woke up and went to school. She thought that was what sleep was like for everyone.
In the lab, Tart installed a shelf high above the bed. The woman was connected to an EEG machine to measure her brainwaves and was sent to bed.
After she was wired up and in bed, I would then go off to another room, use a random number table to get a 5-digit random number, which I'd write on a piece of paper and slip it in an opaque folder. And then I'd come in and put it up on a shelf near the ceiling, a flat shelf. So the number was not visible to anyone down in the room, much less on the bed, but if you happened to be viewing the room from near the ceiling, you could clearly read the number. And I put a clock near the number also. And I told her, I mean, this sounds terribly preposterous, but I said, if you leave your body, try to float up to a position where you can not only read and memorize the number, but see what time it is also, and then try to wake up right afterwards so I can have an exact idea of when you had that particular part of the experience.
Tart changed the number every day. On the first 3 mornings, the woman said she felt as though she'd left her body during the night. But she couldn't say what the number was.
She said that while she was out of her body, she was in the wrong part of the room, or she was outside the building or something like that. She had no idea what the number was because she hadn't seen it.
Then, on the 4th night, the subject woke up suddenly at about 3:35 in the morning. She said she'd just had an out-of-body experience in which she'd risen to the top of the room. She claimed she had seen the number.
She successfully told me that the number was 25132. Now, the odds of guessing a 5-digit number like that in one try are enormous. So I was quite excited, to put it mildly.
At around the same time that Tart was studying OBEs in California, Stanley Krippner was running a sleep lab in New York. He read about Tart's experiment and noticed that the skeptics were having trouble discrediting it.
How is this woman able to get those numbers? The only criticism that I have heard of that really makes any type of sense is that she had a collapsible mirror with her, and she was able to unfold this mirror and extend the mirror up above the number, and in the dark, with a little flashlight, beam the flashlight up to the mirror and read the numbers.
As long as we're going to go along those lines, you might as well say, perhaps I made the whole thing up. And in fact, when people think that perhaps I have lied about this whole thing, I take it as a great compliment to how well the experiment was done that critics are reduced to that extreme.
But if the results were authentic, the implications were astonishing. Was it really possible for the conscious mind to leave the physical body? Krippner decided to run an experiment to see if he could reproduce Tart's results.
We had one medical student who claimed that he was able to have out-of-body experiences frequently. We said, fine, come into the laboratory, and every night we're going to put a picture on a ledge above your bed. Nobody will know what the picture is because it will be completely shielded until we pull the shield off and see if you can dream about it.
On the 4th night, Krippner witnessed a sudden change in the young man's brainwaves. As he slept, waking alpha waves appeared.
He woke up and said, I've had an out-of-body experience. And he said, the picture has a sunset on it. And sure enough, the name of the picture had the word sunset in it.
Brainwave recordings in both the Tart and Krippner experiments showed that during the out-of-body experiences, the subjects had entered a mixed state of consciousness, part asleep, part awake.